Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat here with another wrestling review. I'm of course joined by my associate and roommate, Joe. Say hi, Joe. He's very lethargic today. Sorry I haven't posted any videos for SmackDown or TNA. I've been pretty sick the last couple of days. I had an impaction. For those of you who don't know, an impaction is like it's like having diarrhea, but it's not really going. It's like having cramps in your stomach, and it's not going to your butt and not going to your mouth, and you just want it out of you. It's just very painful, but that's what I had. So I'm still trying to deal with it. I actually have to take this. It's a laxative, so once I take this, I'm going to be losing about 20 pounds of my total body weight in about 30 minutes, so down the hatch. Big K. Anyway, it's Monday night, and it's time for Monday Night Raw. So, let's get right down to it. Raw opens with John Cena appearing. Ironically, interesting note, this is the first time John Cena has been in the ring and on Raw since the new year began. So there's that. He stays off his New Year's resolutions, beating CM Punk, doing some other random stuff, winning the Royal Rumble, and going to WrestleMania. Of course, he shoots the same standard John Cena promo, which is pretty much like reading off a cue card or something. I don't know. So out comes The Miz, sporting his new catchphrase, "Really?" I think it's going to be this generation's what. I like Miz's what. So he cuts a great promo saying is how Cena is the old news, how he's outdated and he's corny, and says that whoever wins the Royal Rumble better stay away from him. Oh, and he also mentions a very important fact that I know that a lot of fans know about. If you don't, then this is your first time hearing it. Here it is. For the first time in the over 2-decade history of the Royal Rumble, 40 competitors will be competing this year. That's right. There'll be 10 more people competing. So that means 20 from Raw, 20 from SmackDown. Now, my own personal feeling is I'm an old school kind of guy. I like the Rumble. I've grown up with the Rumble having 30 people in it. So, one part of me wants to hate it, but another part of me wants to give it a chance, because the Rumble has always been entertaining. So, I'm going to hold off my judgment for the 40-man Rumble until I actually see it in 2 weeks. So, anyway, Cena then does a bad Rocky impersonation, and it just basically Cena just being corny and whatever, just taking shots at Michael Cole. I'll agree, I love it when he takes a shot at Michael Cole, because Michael Cole's an asshole. But overall, it's just not a very good promo by Cena. And it's further compounded when Nexus comes out, led by CM Punk. Hail Punk. Punk says that because all the members of Nexus are going to be in it this year, and all of them will have a single objective of making him champion, as well as preventing Cena from their objective will be to make CM Punk win the match, as well as make sure Cena doesn't win the match. His odds just got reduced next to 0. So he decides to test the odds out and sends Nexus down to hem up Cena. Cena's getting his ass handed to him until the tag champs come in to save him. Kind of weird picking the joke tag team as your backup, Cena. So anyway, the Raw GM chimes in and says that tonight it will be John Cena versus CM Punk, and if any and the Nexus is barred from ringside, any member of the Nexus interferes in any kind of way, they will be thrown out. They will not be able to participate in the Rumble. So we move on to our first match, a tag title match, which neither team got an entrance for, between Kozlov and Santino defending against the Usos, the only named tag team in the WWE. Now, this is the part where I will praise TNA on. They have a much better tag team division than the WWE right now. WWE doesn't have a tag division. Their tag division is dead. the only name tag team have to job out to Santino of all people, which they do in this match. Sadly, the Usos go down to the fucking Cobra. That Cobra is a career killer. Oh well. So anyway, we also find out that later tonight it will be #1 contender versus #1 contender as Randy Orton takes on Dolph Ziggler. Moving on to the next match, we have a very good match between John Morrison and Daniel Bryan. Now, this is the first time these two have ever been in the ring together, and I have to say, despite some rustiness in the ring, it was a pretty good match. I would love to see them do it again because they obviously mesh very well with John Morrison's unusual, unorthodox offensive style and Daniel Bryan's highly technical style. Surprisingly enough, John Morrison wins after a very competitive match. And then King Roopsterhead, Sheamus, comes out saying that he made John Morrison the superstar that he is now, and that neither him nor Bryan are on his level, and he will make it a point to eliminate them at the Rumble. And he says one of the most flubbed up lines I've ever heard. He says that I will win by beating Turkey 8, meaning Turkey 9 other superstars. Go ahead, rewatch it. He says Turkey 9. What, John is Sheamus gonna fight poultry in the ring? What, is the gobbledygooker gonna fight? Turkey 9. Next up, we get a scene from backstage where the members of Nexus are concerned that neither of them are going to come out and going to be able to help Punk, and Punk just appears with a smile on his face, and he just says one word: faith. And we'll cut to commercial. That comes off as extremely, extremely creepy. But Punk is pulling this off. I mean, he is pulling off this messianic figure amongst Nexus. It just comes off as really creepy. Jerry King Lawler said it best. Nexus is now more like a cult now than anything else. So that's good for Punk pulling that off. What else? Next up, we have I think is the title match between, the #1 contenders match, Orton versus Ziggler. Vicky Guerrero comes out, got some monster heat. Enough to fry chicken with. That's a lot of heat for one person to do, and that's doing good wonders for Dolph Ziggler. But eventually he's gonna have to break away from him because right now she's kind of overshadowing. She's drawing the heat for him when he needs to draw it for himself. So there's that. It was an extremely competitive match. I figured it would be a squash match, and I can see, and they've really been pushing Dolph as a serious in-ring competitor. Dolph just focuses on his neck and his leg, and it really looked like, and Orton looked like he had to try with him, and also Orton looked like he was extra aggressive tonight. I don't know why that is. So anyway, Orton hits a out of nowhere but kind of sloppy looking RKO and picks up the victory when Miz and A-Rod come to the ring and beat the ever-loving shit out of him. Jerry the King Lawler decides to get involved, but he gets the shit beaten out of him too. And Miz gets in front of his face and says, I'm Miz, and I'm awesome. Really? So, now, a lot of people on the forums often say that this was bad for Ziggler, but I say this is pretty good for him. If this was going to make him look bad, I would have expected Randy to have no trouble whatsoever and utterly squash the crap out of him. But like a good friend of mine who's a professional wrestler says, sometimes it isn't if you lose, it's how you lose. Dolph looked very credible in that match, and he looked good against Randy Orton of all people. He didn't get buried. He lost that match legitimately, but that doesn't make him any less of a threat to Edge's world title. As you saw on SmackDown last week, that Edge was on the receiving end of a beatdown from Ziggler, so it really kind of balanced itself out. Next match, Divas match between Natalya and Malise, with Eve Torres and Melina on commentary with Michael Cole. Neither of them saying very much to Michael Cole because women don't like him. So anyway, the match is pretty much a build-up match for Natalya and Melina's match at the Royal Rumble. And Melise taps out to the sharpshooter. Afterwards, Melise goes ape shit nuts and just gets in Michael Cole's face and just starts going crazy. Then Ted DiBiase comes out and she's in his face saying that he's pretty much the reason why she's sucking right now, and it's the truth. And Ted gets on the mic and says, "You don't think I can win? You don't think I can win the Royal Rumble?" No, Ted, no one thinks you can win the Royal Rumble. At this point, the way they're booking you, I bet you could probably even beat Santino's record for shortest time in the Rumble, which is sad. But I mean, I don't know what it is about Ted. Even when he was doing this promo, he was just very, very, very bland. Like, there was no effort put into it. Like, he just blah. I don't know what to say. You wouldn't believe for word one that he could do it. I mean, if Cody Rhodes had said it, there's some little bit of believability with him, seeing as how he's gotten a major push since he started his dashing gimmick. But Ted just sucks. So Ted says that he challenges anyone in the back to an over-the-top rope challenge, where he proves that he can throw anyone over the top rope. This, of course, means that the biggest dude in the back, Mark Henry, is going to come out. Mark gets in the ring, the match starts, and after a little bit, he throws him over the top rope. Then all of a sudden, all the mid and lower carders come out and just start beating on each other to have like a little mini Royal Rumble to see how it would shape up. I mean, you had William Regal out there. Who else? I think I saw Tyson Kidd, maybe. D.H. Smith. Darren Young, Chocolate Cena was out there. Primo, Zack Ryder of all people. It was just mid-carders. It was just mid-carders all through the way. Then King Whoops Ahead Sheamus comes out and starts clearing the ring, all except Mark Henry. And surprisingly enough, Mark Henry gets the last word. He's the last man remaining. They're surprisingly giving him a slight push on this, especially over Sheamus, who had a great year last year. But ever since he became King of the Ring, he's been losing a lot. I don't know. Anyway, before he can bask in the glory of it, his victory is interrupted by the essence of excellence, Alberto Del Rio, who informs him that it is his destiny to win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania, where he will be crowned the new Mr. WrestleMania. Wink. But overall, it was a good way to build up for the Rumble in a couple of weeks. So, with Henry doing well in this, he seems like a strong favorite, but you never know. They also did a Rumble by the numbers. If you don't know what this is, it's basically a rundown of stats and statistics about the history of the Rumble. And I always love them because you find out little things that you never really knew about the Rumble. And for those who don't know, Rey Mysterio currently has the record for longest time in the Rumble with a little over 62 minutes. And Santino currently holds the record for shortest time in the Rumble with 1 second. Shawn Michaels has a record for most people eliminated in all Rumble appearances with about 36. But Kane still holds the record for most people eliminated in a single Rumble, 11. And this will be his 13th consecutive Royal Rumble appearance, so you never know. No announcement of the next member of the WWE Hall of Fame class, which is weird for me. But I'm sure they're just trying to figure out who to go in next. Macho Man. Let's see. Punk is backstage and he's giving some kind of weird cultist chant or something. I don't know. And it once again reinforces that CM Punk has gotten really, really, really creepy now. What else? Head on to the main event. CM Punk versus John Cena. Nexus is barred from ringside. This was a very competitive match between these two. It was very good. I'd expect Cena to bury him, but Punk put up an amazing fight. It just goes to show you. And if you watch a lot of wrestling, you watch a lot of Cena's matches, you could see what moves are coming. You know what I mean? But with Punk, you never know what he's gonna do. Hell, he pulled out the Anaconda Vice. He hasn't done that move in a long time. So it looks like no one knows who's gonna win until this big dude. Some people online are calling him Welsh Tista or whatever. I thought it was Batista himself, but then I saw that the guy was moving very fast, and everyone knows Batista gets injured by a stiff breeze. So he gets in Cena's face. Cena doesn't do anything, but CM Punk jumps in from behind. The big dude gets in the ring, and Punk just smiles and just puts his arms to his side and just lets do it. And the guy kicks CM Punk in the face, which results in Punk winning by DQ. Then the big guy turns his attention and starts beating down on Cena. Then the rest of Nexus come in since the match is over, and jolly stomp on Mr. Cena for good measure. Then after beating down Cena, they turn their attention to the big guy, but then Punk's like, no, it's all right. The big guy gets on his knees, and Punk gives him an armband, signifying that he's the newest member of the Nexus. And they put their fists up in solidarity. Hail, Punk. And so that was Monday Night Raw. Thoughts? It was a good Raw. Not the greatest, but it was a good Raw. Very, very watchable. The matches for what they were very solid and very cleverly booked. And I like some of the promos were great by everyone but Cena, and the little twist at the end was good. No one expected a big dude to come out and help CM Punk win. So overall, I'd watch this show. And next week promises to be a good one, as it will be champion versus champion, as Edge takes on The Miz a week before the Rumble. What you think, Joe? He thinks Miz is awesome. So that was my Raw review, and I will probably see you, and I will hopefully get to TNA if it doesn't suck too much. I know that's a lot. That's asking a lot, but a guy can hope. So anyway, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, and Joe saying goodbye and wrestle on.